Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. My name is Callie, and this is another weekend of clarinets, cats, and coffee. In today's video, I am going to show you how to double tongue, or at least how I double tongue, and a way you can practice it. And that's pretty much it. Before we jump into that, I want to say thank you to all my patrons and my channel members for supporting my channel. If you're not already a supporter, I would love to have you on board. Be sure to check out the links below for channel memberships or Patreon and check out the cool perks that I give supporters of my channel. So if you're already supporting me, thank you very much. And if you're not, I hope to see you there soon. All right, so double tonguing. Actually, I really don't like double tonguing. I kind of hate it. And I don't really think it's that necessary for most people to do. But over the past couple of years, I have been showing more and more people how to do it. And so I thought I would make a video on it. So as you guys maybe know, I have a story. I have a story about everything, right? So in January, I released my second album with my clarinet quartet called Cooler by the Lake. Now, if you listen to the album, you'll notice that we have a couple of Mendelssohn pieces on there. So we do the Scherzo from A Midsummer Night's Dream, and we also do the Overture from A Midsummer Night's Dream. Now, the Overture is the reason why I have improved so much over the past year. It was kind of the bane of my existence, and I kind of almost regret doing it, but I kind of love the piece, and it's really fun to play, and every time we do it, I'm like, dude, I need to do that again. It was awesome! So there's an 8-measure stent in there that's kind of the bane of my existence. So everything in that piece is fine, but that 8-measure stent is just, it's a C sharp, repeated, half note equals 120, and you're doing 8th notes, so, I mean... And it was very hard for me to do that single-tongued at 120. I could do it at like stupid tempos, like 138 or one whatever, and a little slower than that. But 120 is kind of like that middle sweet spot where my tongue is like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to be tense and not do what you want. So anyway, so last year I decided I'm just going to make sure I'm okay at double tonguing so I can get through this 8-measure bit whenever I play with my quartet. So that's what I did. And I hadn't done any kind of double tonguing practice since like college, and so I had to kind of like re-teach myself how to do it. And I think it sounds a lot better now than it did when I was in college. I was also a lot more tense back then. Still struggling with tension, but this certainly helps. So even if you've got a fast single tongue, I would recommend at least doing some double tonguing work just so that you can practice being very relaxed and playing with good air support, okay? So the key to double tonguing is you tongue the tip of the tongue to the tip of the reed, and then there's a second attack that goes against the roof of your mouth. So what I've discovered is it works out really well if I try to keep everything as forward in my mouth as possible. And I don't actually think T key, like a hard key or a gi, because that gets everything kind of choked up. But I think of making a very light contact with the roof of my mouth as close to the front, kind of like that. So then essentially the tip of my tongue, and that seems to work out pretty well for me. So my recommendation for getting used to this is to hold an open G and practice doing 8th notes, just slow 8th notes, and try to get the t and the k to match as closely as you can. Okay, so that's the T key. So you can kind of practice that, but you don't want the key part to be really hard and punchy. You want it to just barely touch. Okay, so the exercise is, so you hold the pitch, and then you do 8th notes, single tonguing, as legato as possible, and then you do the 16th notes tonguing, double tonguing. And the tempo that I'm choosing is probably around 120 to the quarter note, or I like to think 60 to the half note, but I will push it faster and try it slower at times as well, just for increased flexibility. So we're gonna set this metronome to 60. So the key is to make sure that your single tonguing on the 8th notes is very light, because once you add the double tongue, it's gonna make things go a little crazy, okay? Woo! All right, that really requires a lot of air support. So you'll find if you are tense at all, anywhere in your throat, in your mouth, and you have, or if you have bad air support or whatever, you will find that this is extremely difficult, maybe even impossible, to get any kind of consistency between the T and the key part. So if that's too fast, I chose this tempo because, like I said at the beginning, that 120 BPM for 16th notes, dig it, 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 is very difficult for me to control my single tonguing at. And so months and months later, or whatever, I've released, you know, this album, and I'm still doing this, and now I can single tongue at 120 pretty reliably, and I think that practicing double tonguing has helped me stay more relaxed and has improved my air support, so I have better control whenever practicing single tongue stuff. So I still haven't used it since having to refine it for that one little blip in the Mendelssohn Overture. And fun fact, when we did that recording, I just couldn't do it. I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and so Aaron actually played it in the recording, and I did not. When we perform it though, I do. So anyway, so in doing this on a regular basis and really trying to refine my double tonguing, I have in turn found that my single tonguing has improved as well. So I hope you guys give this a try, even if you never actually do it in a performance. I hope that by refining this, your single tonguing will improve as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, a great week next week, and as always, happy practicing.